Let me save you from the biggest mistake a lot of new drivers can make. Choosing the wrong company can set you back months and sometimes even years. And the crazy part, a lot of people don't even realize it until it's too late. How are you folks doing today? I'm James. Nice to meet you. If you haven't met me already, hopefully you have if you've gotten this far. But I'm glad you're here because if you're here, it means you're serious about this industry, about getting into trucking, about learning it the right way, or at least the way that can be successful for you. So if you're thinking about getting your CDL or you've already gotten it, this decision, the company you choose, is super important. Super important. First thing you need to understand, recruiters are not your enemy at all. They have a job just like everyone else in the industry has a job to do to get drivers in the seat. They're not your advisor. They're just there to get you in the seat and tell you the things about a company that make the company sound good. Hopefully they're all true, but they're not going to tell you very many negatives. You need to have a list of questions to ask them. They're going to tell you things like, we're going to keep you moving, you're going to make great money here, drivers love it here, they never go anywhere, and all of that kind of good stuff. So if they never go anywhere, why do they have recruiters? But anyway, they're going to tell you whatever they think you need to hear to get you in the seat. They want to have a driver. That's their job, to get drivers to fill the seats. And if you don't ask the right questions, you can go to these companies totally blind, totally like not knowing all of the details or not getting all of the details before you head that way. A lot of people really focus on what you're going to make per mile. That's not the right way to go about it. I had rather make 55 cents a mile and stay moving than 70 cents a mile and sit in a truck stop 90% of the time. Because 70 cents a mile with no miles is no money. So, I mean, that's pretty common sense. You have to make sure you go with the correct company and don't look so much at the cents per mile. Yes, you need to look at that, but don't let that be your only focus as far as a good company to go with. You need to ask the recruiters. These are a few questions. I'm going to have a long list down in the description of questions you need to ask whenever you go into on a phone call with a recruiter. You need to ask them, is the miles consistent? Are the miles consistent? Do they pay detention pay? What happens whenever I sit? Layover pay. If they want you to stay somewhere overnight, do they pay for that? Is there a weekly guarantee? There's a lot of companies that has weekly guarantees. I know a lot of them do. They have certain stipulations you have to go by to get the weekly guarantee, but there's a lot of companies that'll guarantee you, especially whenever you first start out, that you're going to make X amount of dollars per week because they want to make sure you're covered. You have what you need or somewhat of what you need to be successful to start with. There's a lot of companies like that. I know one in particular there in the Northwest. I don't know where you are that whenever you're watching this, but one company in the Northwest, I know for a fact they will make sure the first couple of weeks that you got money to run on, and it's System Transport. I worked there for a while. I run the heavy haul in the Northwest. I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. But now you have to be in Spokane or whatever, Washington, to be part of their heavy haul fleet. They just changed some stuff around, which I made really well at the heavy haul. And I know some other guys that went through orientation with me that didn't do well in heavy haul up there. So that comes down to your dispatch time or your dispatch person, kind of where you're running at mostly, or and what have you. So another part that a lot of people don't explain or just don't think about sometimes is the driving the truck's the easy part. Getting good freight, that's the job. And I know a lot of people, this goes without saying, company drivers, a lot of them are forced dispatch. I get it. But there's situations that you can work into that. And then once you start getting more experience with a company, you can kind of give them a little pushback on some loads that you know is not going to put you in a good area or whatever. Because if you're not going to consistently, if you're just consistently taking the junk all the time, and you're not making any money, why stay there? And you can explain it to them in a way that, hey, I need to start making money, or, there's other companies in this country. Actually, 700,000 companies to be exact, but around that neighborhood. I don't want to say exact, but really close to 700,000 companies in this country. Keep that in mind. There's plenty of options. There's good ones, there's bad ones, and all in between. And the chameleon companies, you got to watch out for them. There's around, I think they say 10 to 15% of those 700,000 are chameleon companies. And if you don't know what that is, you may want to Google it, because they're not good. You need to make sure, check on that really, really close. But one thing, the huge thing you really want to make sure you get is the steady freight. Make sure the company you go with has good contracts with shippers or receivers or whatever, vice versa. Most time it's the shippers they get the contracts with. Just like, again, same company. I just happened to learn a lot about them because I was in every week whenever I was doing it. But System Transport up there, they have 100% of the Jenny Lift contract. Anything that comes out of North Bend, Washington, that is a Jenny Lift has to go through them. They have 100% of the contract. You want to find companies that either have 100% or a majority of it, because that's going to be huge. Find those companies that have the bigger contracts and they've had them for a while, and staying with them. And ask the recruiter, what are their contracts? What's their deal? Just ask the recruiter. Also ask the recruiter, how often are their drivers waiting on loads right now? Not last year, last month, or what's usual or not usually or whatever. Right now, how long are they waiting on loads? Be sure to ask that. Those things right there, the contracts, the keeping you moving, that is huge. That's why we're in there. You're not moving, you're not making money. And if they got big contracts, there's a good chance you're gonna stay moving. And several of them, hopefully. That was just one example, like I said, with that trucking company. The one I'm with now, they have several contracts, several really good contracts. And that's why I decided to, I took a year and a half off, and that's why I decided to come back here for a while. Is because they have really good contracts, and I make really good money doing this. So check on that. That's huge. Check on that. The next one, to ask a recruiter or to think about really hard, be really honest with yourself. What do you need as far as home time? Not what you wish you life would look like or whatever. Do you need to be home pretty regular, or every 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months? What do you need? Pick the company you're going to go with based on that also. If they say you're going to be home every 2 weeks, you ask them, how consistent is that going to be? Is this, every once in a while, am I going to have to stay out longer, or is it just nail on the head, every 2 weeks I'm home? Or is it going to be maybe 1 week out and I could come home? Ask them that. Because if you're trying to live one way as far as what you need, as far as home time, and you're you can't get that, then that's a possibility, a real high possibility that you're going to quit that company before very long. So you don't want to do that. It's get your home time what you need. Don't just take whatever to get a job. Don't just take a job to get a job. If this stuff is not matching what you need, don't take the job. It's that simple. There's a lot of companies in this country that you can get a job for that will fit you, that will fit what you need as far as home time and pay. The equipment they have is another big, huge question. That I will quit a job or not take a job because of the equipment. If they have their equipment that's too old or not taken care of, this is old truck. This is a really old truck. This is like a 2018. And in the trucking world, that's really old. It's got over 1 million miles on it, but it's been taken care of. It runs well. I don't have any issues out of it. I had to replace an alternator. Okay, you're going to have to replace alternators. I don't have any like engine problems. I don't have, constant blowouts on tires. We good tires on it all the time. I have a shock that started leaking oil out of it. I called him up. He said, yeah, we'll get that as soon as you get in. Done. If you can't get into your shop, go to a shop. Will the company allow you to go to a shop, take care of the equipment? Find all of this stuff out. Ask these questions. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. You don't want to be dealing with breakdowns day after day after day. If they got junky equipment, I'm not going. If I get there and then they told me they have good equipment and then they give me a junky truck, and I've done this before. I went in there and then they assigned me a truck and I went there and I started it up and it had engine lights on and then barely did start. Battery is nearly dead. I pulled up the shop. I'm like, what's up with this? Oh yeah, we got to work on that truck. We have to work on that. I said, really? He said, yeah, we have to work on that truck. There's some stuff wrong with it. I don't know why they assigned it to you. So I walk inside. I said, shop says they got to work on this and they don't know why you assigned me this truck. Well, that's the only one we have right now. I said, okay, sounds like you need another driver. And I left. Plain, simple, left. They said, really, you're going to leave because the truck needs a little work? I said, the truck shouldn't need work. If you're going to hire a driver and assign him to a truck, the driver wants to go to work, not go to shop. So check that. That is massive, in my opinion, massive. If the equipment is not ready or just junk, I will not take the job and I will leave on the spot. I've already done it. Check their equipment. Make sure, even if you get there, once you get there and you look around and it's not like they say it was going to be, you need to go ask some questions and give a little push because that company, they wasn't going to give me another truck. So I was like, fine, I'll leave. I don't need this. I'll leave. 5 minutes. That's all you need, guys. You get enough experience, 5 minutes, you'll have another job. And I'm not endorsing job hopping, but don't take crap. Don't take crap. Plain and simple. Don't take their crap. Whenever you get with your company, you get the truck, good truck. You start moving, or even before you start moving, find out who your dispatch is going to be. Talk to the dispatch, the person that you're going to be dealing with. You want to talk to that person and tell him your expectations and see what his expectations or her expectations are of you. A bad dispatcher or a dispatcher that won't return your calls or answer whenever you do call or just, 2 days later returns your call, that's going to break you quicker than anything else in this stuff that I've ever talked about. Because if there's no communication between you and the dispatcher and they just send you, hey, take this, and take this, and then you call up and you need whatever, and they don't return your call or answer the call, that's no good. You need to go to their boss and say, hey, he'll never answer my call. Can I get someone else? And a lot of companies will. They'll swap dispatch or driver manager, depending on what they call them. I mean, they have names for everything. It's amazing the names they come up just for someone's title in the trucking world. It's just a dispatcher. That's what I call it. The huge mistake you can make during all of this is picking a company because of the hype, because of the big paycheck numbers that they tell you, because of the nice, pretty trucks. Pretty don't make money in trucking. I'm sorry, it does not. A pretty truck does not make any more than an ugly truck. It's a truck. As long as it mechanically, is good, great. But don't choose your company over all of the big hype about, the big paychecks, the big nice trucks, the good marketing, and they have all of these pictures and flashy stuff. Stay away from the hype. Ask these questions. They'll be, like I said, down in the description of this video. I'm going to have a list of questions that you can ask. I think there's 30 something. You don't have to ask them all, but it's a good list. You can go down through there, pick and choose which one you want to ask, or if you want to ask them all, ask them all. And I'm going to highlight, or actually the first 10, I'll make the ones that are like I think are super important to ask. But don't go with the hype. And talk to drivers. If you can find drivers with that company you're considering, talk to them. Some of them are going to tell you good, some's going to tell you bad. Go look at reviews. Like on Google, you can Google up a company and look at their reviews. Google up their safety score. That's going to tell you a lot also. If they got a bad safety score. And if you don't know good from bad on the safety score, you Google it. I mean, it's, there's all kind of numbers, and the way they explain it, it's really hard for me to explain. If you get this decision right on this trucking company, your first year is going to go so much smoother. It's going to be so much easier. If you don't, it's going to be a lot harder. I don't want it to be hard on you. That's why I make these videos. That's why I'm doing this, is to make it a lot easier on you, to make you, hopefully get you to understand the trucking world, and so you don't have to go through as much aggravation as a lot of us drivers have gone through in the years past. I talked to a friend of mine today that I sent him a copy of, those questions and some other things, and he's like, wow, I wish I'd have had this whenever I started. He's not the only one. I wish I'd have had it too, but we didn't, so we just deal with it how we had to. But there's no reason you should have to just deal with it. That's why, like I said, that's why this channel exists. Now, tell me what you're actually wanting to do, what you're wanting to, pull as far as freight and everything. If you don't mind, drop it down in the comments. And any other questions, just put them in the comments. Let me know. Email me. Email is, my channel name, truckingtruthwithjames@gmail.com. Email me. I'll answer your emails also. But any questions, just send them to me. Thank you for watching this, and I hope it helps. And I'll see you soon, either in the members page with another video, or post, or on the regular channel. But thank you, and have a good day.